Let us resume our sessions today. You will have more time today to talk to each other during the lunch break and afterwards. And I welcome here Elena Tofanyuk in the audience today, who's first deputy editor-in-chief of Forbes. And today she will be the traditional role of an interview with the top leaders of our sponsors, of our platinum sponsors. And today, first, we are going to interview Yury Denisov, CEO of Moscow Exchange.
Добрый день, коллеги. Я рад всех вас.
Good morning, dear colleagues. I'm happy to hear you. Unfortunately, I cannot see you all. As you can see, this is the pandemic time, and there are certain limitations and restrictions that are being imposed. But hopefully this is not going to be a nuisance to us, and we are going to, and I would be happy to take the interview. Thank you, Yury. Indeed, the FX market is something that you started with, and probably that's your eternal love, if you so. Okay, and can you hear me? Yury, we can hear you, and the question is whether you can hear us here from the audience. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. So, Elena, please, the floor is yours. Yury Olegovich, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Indeed, let us start with a question about the everlasting operation of Moscow Exchange. Yeah, really extending the working hours of the exchange, and you're trying to accommodate as much trading as possible. But can we expect a 24/7 trading at MOEX? And can you also assess the investment made into MOEX and the operations of your clients during the off hours of MOEX? Yury. Well, thank you, Elena. Thank you. You know, it's a very good question in terms of Forex, which is really a 24/7 operation. Maybe not 7 days a week, really, but 5 days a week, but at least 24 hours. So it is very important for the Forex participants in place who are very accustomed to such a service. MOEX, and I should say here that it's a technological venue which provides access to all categories of investors from any part of the world for any instruments, shares, stocks, futures, options, and money market instruments, capital market instruments, etc. And we are the biggest investment hub in Russia and the CIS. And if you take a look at the performance that we have, how much the MOEX infrastructure is being used, and from last year, we managed to provide services to the issuers in Russia and abroad worth of 27 trillion rubles. That is the newcomers to the market, the private individuals that came to the Russian Federation for investment and invested into their broker accounts. And we have 15 million of such private individuals that are being serviced, or rather they transact in bonds and equity. Now, those 15 million people have 24 million accounts of private accounts. So they managed to collect liquidity, which is in demand for everyone. Now we see that we had IPOs and SPOs worth about 600 billion rubles from last year through MOEX, and this attracts more and more people. And we can see that we have more proactive players coming to the market. And not only do we have a growth in the active users and traders in stocks and bonds, and about 20 million of people are transacting and such, but also we have also a growth in FX transactions. We have about 1 million customers in the FX market currently? Well, of course, we have international participants in the market, which is about 50% of the total turnover in the stock market, as well as bond market. About 20% of foreign participants take this share in the FX market. Also, the significance of MOEX and the significance of pricing available from our exchange for Russian assets, the demand for that is growing. However, many customers are rebalancing their portfolios through the MOEX. And technologically, I should also say that MOEX has a very good risk management system in place, and which surpasses in this regard many international venues. This regards the capacity of our trading systems. We are in line with all international standards there, and the longer working hours would really help the accessibility of our products, especially for private individuals. Just a few words about the expansion of our trading operations. That's first round of expansion of the market, and we now open at 7 a.m. and now like 9% of the turnover is at the internal market, and the FX market holds about 10%. And if you take the stock market in the evening, which really provided 8% growth in the turnover because of the longer working hours in terms of our stock trading. So we do see that those longer operating hours are really required by the market, and we also decided to grow in our bond trading. We do have the evening session today, which is about 5% of the bonds transactions that are traded in terms of the activity of the private individuals. At the same time, together with the players, we are really thinking about the round-the-clock operation, which may be of interest, but again, all the actions of Moscow Exchange to launch new products would be really based on the interests and requests of the players. So you are studying the kind of like interests. So are you going to have that or not? It depends. It depends. It's not the question of whether the exchange is ready. It's a question of whether the market is ready. We are looking for this readiness, and we are researching this readiness. But it should be required by all players. In other words, you would like to have that. Yes. We would like to have that. We are looking into how we can really support this technological growth. But economically, we need to understand whether it is going to be in any good demand and whether it would be required by the players. You mentioned that the share of the non-residents among your players, among your participants, about 50%, 50%. Are you happy with that? Or if not, what are you going to do to really grow this share of the foreign participants in your trading? I would rather say that our task is to provide the most comfortable service to all clients, including global clients. And the high share of international players would not be a goal in itself, but rather would be a confirmation of the trust in our infrastructure, that we are providing good access, we have good liquidity, which is an attraction to the global players. And I think that it is important to think how we are going to develop in future. We have been investing in our infrastructure for quite some years now. The most recent step was the division of the status of the participant in trading and the status of the participant in clearing. This way, actually, the global players can keep the security and collateral our instruments to minimize risks as well as to really grow their operations through the exchange. I should say that the NCS would be as a tax agent to calculate and withhold the appropriate taxes for Russia for both non-residents and clients, and it would also be reporting to the tax authorities about the amount of payments made to foreign participants, which is important in terms of the accessibility and comfort of our infrastructure. About foreign stock, you also open trading in such foreign stock in rubles and then in USD. And it's not only you, but also the St. Petersburg exchange, which is quite active in providing such services. Your project, do you think it is successful? Are you happy with that? Or maybe you would like to invest additionally into such operations? I would say that our main task would be to provide an opportunity to investors to use this service and perhaps invest into any assets of any class, to any instruments to meet their needs. So we are providing this high-quality product to them, which by coming to MOEX you can have and do whatever you want. That's why we are now floating foreign stocks. By the way, we started trading in Russian rubles first, so that it would be more comfortable to our private individuals, our investors, who simply want to really invest their rubles into some foreign stock. But now we also launched in September of this year, we launched the trading in USD for foreign stocks, and by the way, this is like the single pool now. You can buy your stocks at using one currency and sell in another. I also would like to mention that, of course, we are expanding the opportunities of such trading. We have now 281 securities being traded. We are planning to have 500 by the end of the year, and by the end of next year it would be like 2,000 as expected. From all major jurisdictions, the US, Hong Kong, London, etc. And importantly, we actually also created a trading link with the traders in foreign securities, and we are going to have this liquidity being provided during trading. I am really watching this process of the trading in foreign stocks in Russia. But I think that if you take Chinese or US stocks, they're more popular than Russian stocks. Don't you think so? Well, you know, we do see the changes in volumes. It all depends on what the investor wants. If the investor is prepared to invest for a longer term and wants to have some guaranteed income, then the investor would be planning his or her financing so that the margin would be above inflation and would be above the policy rate, and for that you would be investing for a long time. And you have an option. Well, I mean, you don't have too much a choice of really of such a long-term investment. But for foreign stocks, you would have fast movements, and they would really generate new flows. So that might be the impression. However, over a longer term, over a longer horizon, then the turnover in rubles would be growing still, and there's a heavy share of the flow in rubles now, really. Now, let me ask you the last question. We are running out of time, so perhaps I would expect a brief answer about the anti-pro platform. What new services investors can expect from such a deal? Well, what is important here is that anti-pro is a good platform that would give you another way of getting a price and transact. In terms of Moscow Exchange, we thought that we are strong in clearing, we are strong in the way it should be done properly, and that's why the first service we wanted to provide is to those clients who are already trading through anti-pro. They can also settle through the clearing of Moscow Exchange. Now, looking forward, we would like really to develop the market so that any OTC transaction can be cleared through our clearing center, through the National Clearing Center. In terms of anti-pro, we also have another good functionality that we can pre-check for any security of the bids, and this is something that we're going to launch in the end of this year. A few words about anti-pro, by the way, and we are thinking, and we would like to develop the anti-pro technology for the MOEX group. In particular, we're thinking about the FX development ways, which would be the so-called the differential contracts. This way, we can aggregate pricing through anti-pro and use also OTC infrastructure for the estimation and computation of the risks of transacting with the clients. Yury Denisov was with us, CEO of Moscow Exchange. Thank you, Elena.